welcome to today's podcast episode. I'm here with my mum, Liz, and we're sitting in the middle of a field outside in New Zealand because we're
on
on our holiday. Mum and Steve have come on a road trip here, and yeah, just over halfway through. How are you finding it?
In our camper van, quite bumpy at times. Got used to not having her around, and now suddenly we're squashed in the camper van together.
Yeah, it's definitely been funny. I think as we've dived into sleep already, why don't we go straight into that?
Yes,
I know
yes.
Insomnia is a journey that you have been on and through for
Yes.
probably around 9 years.
Yes, it's something I have to practice every night, relaxing, keeping calm. And I'm much better than I was, 2017, I think it was, when I had a really bad year of insomnia. But it's still something when I go away, like on holiday, and this is a challenge for me, sleeping in a small camper van with other people. So I'm pushing myself to do it, which is good.
And why do you think the insomnia came?
I think I was not listening to my body. I was overdoing everything. My mum was elderly, living at home on her own, and I was trying to help her as well as work. And I was overtraining as a triathlete. So I was trying to fit in too many things into my day. And I got signs that I was starting to, wake up, not sleep very much. And I didn't listen to myself.
Many of us do the same thing. I think we're always getting signs, but yeah, we're not always used to actually like listening to them or acting on them. And especially in a world where we're taught to like do all the time and be so productive, it can feel really hard to like slow down.
And if you don't listen to your body talks louder to you.
Yep.
And I've learned that. So yeah.
How was your body talking to you?
Well, to start with, it was just, not sleeping that well. Oh, carry on, go out and run a half marathon today or whatever it was I was doing, do 100 lengths in the pool, do some cycle training, whatever, keep going. And then it really hit home and I wasn't sleeping at all, like it had gone. And I thought, I still didn't even put it to, together with the exercise. And I thought, oh God, well, I better go to the doctor, because that's what people do when they're not well. They go to the doctor to fix it all, So I went to the doctor and then he gave me, pills to fix me. And that made me panic even more because I don't do pills. So it was like, then I'm even more frightened, and my sympathetic nervous system's really getting going now. Which isn't going to help me sleep even more. So I'm even more stressed, causing more adrenaline to pump through my body. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's such a hard thing with doctors, is often they are just trying to get rid of the symptoms and not really getting rid of like the root cause of why we have these like physical symptoms in the first place. And it's not to say that there isn't a purpose to, some kind of like pills for a period of time, but it's not like the long-term solution.
No, and I realize that you've got to take responsibility. Most people, whether they want to admit it or not, but most people have caused their own problems. It might be so long ago they can't remember causing it. They've had a heart attack or they've done whatever, they've eaten wrong, whatever it is. But if you take responsibility, even if you don't think you've caused it, just say, oh yeah, it's me. I caused it. I got myself into this mess. So actually, I'm the only one that can get myself out of it. So that's the start of getting better from whatever it is you've got, accepting responsibility for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially like, I guess not creating responsibility, but like having the initiative and be able to like take the next steps, like not staying in a victim mindset where we're like, oh, I can't do anything. And I know that can be really hard when, for example, if you have been to the doctors and you've spoke to specialists and, you're not feeling supported, sometimes it can be like, well, what now?
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't do it all on our own and we do need the support of other people. And I know that was the case for you.
Yeah. I started reading lots of books on insomnia. I thought I'll focus all my attention on what I've got, insomnia. And I read everything. I could have done an A level in insomnia. And then I realized that wasn't the way, because all that gave me was insomnia. Oh, but I had to do that. I had to go through that to
we could learn something from everything. Yeah.
So then I knew that wasn't the way. Then I found the way. The way was the opposite to insomnia. Anything peace, monks and nuns, anything to do with them. Study all that. If you've got insomnia, study that, because that gives you what you want. Study what you want, which is calm, peace, tranquility, all that. And then that's what you'll get out of it. So I found Rini, my Chinese medicine lady. She was my first guru, and she helped me to learn meditation. She also did all these other energy things with me, but she taught me my first steps to meditation.
Yeah. And the phrase that came through my mind as you were just speaking there was, where attention goes, energy flows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is even just that slight reframing, even though like, the intention is to get rid of the insomnia, but it's like, okay, well, what can I focus on in a positive way? It's like, okay, I'm focusing on the peace, I'm focusing on the calm, I'm focusing on, yeah.
And then after that, I found some yoga online. It was through COVID, online yoga teach training. So I did a couple of the 200-hour yoga asanas, all the moves, and then some meditation as well. So that really helped. I got really into the yoga, the meditation, and all the breath work that goes with that.
Which is quite different from before, when you were like doing triathlons, which is like swimming, cycling, biking. It was very very active. And then this was more still active, but it's a bit slower.
Yeah, there's a lot of strength in it, but I think it's like more balance in your life. So yes, you can do the swimming, the running, but you need some calm as well. So the yin and the yang.
And we're not necessarily taught from like a young age to learn about like being calm.
No, we should do more of that.
It's kind of like a relearning that we have to then go through.
I think it's different for everyone. I mean, some people, can't get off the couch. They just, I don't know, don't seem to have any energy. And I seem to be the opposite of that. I can't sit on the couch for long. I'm always fidgeting. I know when I first started doing meditation, I'd sit there and think I'll do what the monks do. And then I'd get an itchy nose and I'd fidget and whatever. And over the time I've been doing it now, about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I can sit. I'm not like looking at my watch anymore. So it's slow, but you can see improvement, not only just on the outside. If someone was looking at you, they'd see improvement, but on the inside, in my mind, I'd say, to start with, my mind was like a rough ocean, and now it's like calm, and you could throw a stone in and just see the little ripples. It's more like that, but it is a practice. I'm not perfect. I still have bad nights, but I'm controlling it better. I have a lot less bad nights than I used to, so I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember something you shared before as, you kind of have to accept it as well. There's like a stage of accepting what you have instead of trying to push it away.
Yeah, instead of trying to be somewhere else, like you always want to be the next place. I think that's like from the meditation, you might notice yourself, you think, I don't know, you're doing a job at home, you're putting the washing in the machine, you think, I want to be at Tesco's doing the shopping. And then when you're at Tesco's doing the shopping, you're thinking, oh, I want to be at home having my lunch, and you're not in the same place. I mean, that's what yoga teaches as well, to keep your mind on the mat with your body. So if you can be in the same place, mind and body in the same place, then you are at least on your way to being present. You're not thinking about being somewhere else. You're right here. I'm right here talking to you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking what I'm, going to do next.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think that is something that people really struggle with, is being here, being present right now. We do live in a very busy society. It doesn't support us at all, though. When we've got our mind in 10 different places, we can't focus on the one thing that we're doing. So you might feel like you're doing stuff all the time, but not necessarily even getting anything done. So yeah.
You can practice that, like when you're in the shower, just smelling the soap, feeling the water, all the sensations, but just anything to do with the shower. And as soon as you start thinking of your breakfast, you bring your mind back, and keep doing that all the time, and it gets easier. Like I say, I'm not perfect.
No, she's already thinking about food. She's already asked me, what am I having for dinner in 2 hours?
No, you can still plan things. You can still sit down and say, right, I'm going to, I don't know, plan my next holiday or whatever. It doesn't mean you can't ever look into the future, but it just means that when you're doing a particular exercise, you stay there with it if you can.
That's the balance of the masculine and feminine energy as well. Like the masculine energy is like having the plan, having the structures in place, having the goals. And then the feminine energy is like being present. How can I flow with this? How can I be in the present moment?
I think yoga, there's different limbs to yoga as well. And it's not all about the asana, the movement on the mat, or the meditation. There's other bits as well. And they do say things drop away. And one of the things that with the niyamas and the yamas is the not hoarding things, and I've found that since doing yoga, I feel like I don't need so much stuff. That's attachment as well. People sort of cling to everything. Oh, I can't throw this picture away that my daughter painted when she was 2 years old. Well, maybe you can keep one of them, but you don't need like a whole box of them anymore. You can sort of let go of things, and belongings as well, and clothes and whatever it is. You notice monks or nuns, they live very minimalistic lives, and that makes you feel quite peaceful as well. The more you own, the more you're scared that someone's going to steal it from you. So it's a whole lifestyle, I suppose. It's not just, yoga isn't just, oh, I go on the mat and do a bit of stretching for an hour. It's a whole mind and body thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lifetime of practice.
Yeah. And I love that we're talking about this, because so many people feel like when something bad happens, something we label as bad or negative, which can be like a physical symptom, it can be like the loss of a job or anything else you label as negative. But actually, these things, I believe, can support us get back into alignment with our true path and purpose. And if we don't always see it at that time, it's often in hindsight we see it. And it's not to say that it's not going to be hard, because like obviously these times are really challenging, but often the most challenging times in our lives are the most transformative. And we wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't go through those challenges.
Yeah, I remember Rini saying to me, I saying to her, I just want to get back to where I used to be. I want to go back to how it was before. I don't like myself now. This isn't me. And she's saying, no, laughing at me. And I'm like, I'm serious. I'm nearly crying here. I want to go. And she'd be like, no, you don't go back. You go forward. It'll be better. It'll be even better. You can't see it, but it will be better. And of course it is. It is better because you get wisdom from these things, and you learn a lot. And I mean, I wouldn't be today. I'm learning to do handstands at 50, nearly 57. I wouldn't have been doing that if I had stayed in my old life. So yeah, it's a good thing. But you don't see it. No, you don't see it.
But it's just knowing that it's possible. And I think this is what's so amazing about sharing these stories, is that people, it may be that you have insomnia, or someone who's had insomnia, and this can just be a bit of hope that it does get better, and there may be a reason for it. And actually it's probably there to support you, whether you see it or not now.
It does get better, but you have to decide that you're gonna be open to change.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get better if you just sit there and you know, you'll just get depressed and things could get worse, not better. You've got to actively think, right, but maybe don't study the insomnia books.
It is, and there's so many like different things do work for different people, and it's being able to experiment and see what you feel will work for you. Like you will be attracted to like certain people, certain teachers.
Yeah.
They say like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So those people will be brought into your life, and it's just being able to be like, yep. Or even like it doesn't have to be teachers, it could be like books, it could be podcast episodes. These things are going to appear to you, and just, yeah, go with it.
It's when the apprentice is ready, the master appears. That was Star Wars.
It's funny, and well, it's not funny, but it's funny that um life always has a way of trying to bring us back into our purpose, into living in alignment. And I remember you shared fairly recently, which I didn't know before, you actually wanted to be a midwife when you were younger.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I suppose at the time I was about 14, 15, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. And I ended up at the other end of the body being a dental hygienist. But I don't really know. I probably if I knew all what I knew now, I'd work at it and do the study that I would need to do to be a midwife. But at the time, I just thought, oh, I can't be a midwife, haven't got the grades or whatever it was. So I didn't do it.
That's a limiting belief there. But yeah, obviously
Yeah.
when we're younger, it's really hard and we don't really like know what we want to do. But yeah, having the belief, because we can all do anything and we are kind of attracted to different careers or professions for a reason. You're still kind of in the health industry, and I feel like you've now are even more aligned with what you're interested in, being like a yoga and a meditation teacher.
I think as well, get into lots of different books. You know, I've got the Audible, you've got Spotify, and there's a lot of good information there, isn't there, on you know, philosophy and
everything. Yeah, it does.
I was just reading a book recently, that Joe.
We're both listening to Joe Dispenza's books, different ones.
My one is Brain something or other. And it's saying, you know, if you've got this habit, like say, I don't know, a bad habit that you've got, and you keep thinking about that habit that you do all the time, your neural pathways in your brain just, it's like a motorway that gets clogged up with traffic. You have to make the lane wider to, you know, so your neural pathway for that bad habit, it will just get bigger and bigger. And then, of course, you can think about it more and more, this bad thing. So these books help you to change how you think about things. So for instance, if you're spending all day thinking about insomnia or some other problem, you need to change that. That's why doctors, if you're depressed, get you to do puzzles or word searches or anything else you can do to change those brain patterns. So yeah, I think books help a lot. Ooh. Just keep reading. Power of Now was a very good book for.
Yeah, we've gone through many books. Many Lives, Many Masters was one of my favorite ones.
Atomic Habits still helps with, you know, how to make good habits easier, and, you know, obviously drop away any bad habits. But yeah, they're all very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. If there was one practice that you could suggest to people, or one thing that you would suggest to people to do, apart from read good books, is there any others?
I think sometimes it's hard to sit down and actually meditate, but just try and find the space in between thoughts. Just notice that they're not all jumbled up. There is a little gap, and try and widen the space, even if it's like 30 seconds of sitting down, maybe with your cup of coffee, and just actually sort of tasting it and taking a minute just to do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do a bit of gentle yoga, that's fine. Do the breathing with the yoga. Don't just do the moves.
Yeah. And the smallest shifts make such a difference. So it is just like, how can I do 1% better than yesterday, or make these small, tiny adjustments that over time make a big difference. Because often we can get put off of doing things because we think it'll be too hard or too much. So just making it achievable for you, knowing it makes a difference.
And keep practicing.
Yeah, we're all always students, always learning more, and that's what I kind of find exciting as well. I remember when I was younger thinking like, oh, I just wish I knew everything now. Like, I don't want to have to be like this. I mean, I've always been quite impatient, but now I'm just learning to love learning even more and love learning more and more about myself. And every time I find something out, I'm like, oh, this is interesting information that's going to support me.
I think if you think of yourself as, you know everything, you sort of close down then. Well, of course, you know it all, so you don't need to, you know. But if you think of yourself more as a student, you're sort of more open to keep learning things from all different people and places.
Yeah, and like literally just learning one new thing can change your whole life, and you don't know until you learn it. Thanks for coming on my podcast.
That's okay. I hope it was all right.